Welcome friends, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the Kite House. I am working on a little project today that I've been meaning to get to all week. I'm a little tied up making some other videos for Dre's World channel and just now getting to this, but this kite is the Wind Dancer. I was flying it in the last video from Treasure Island right after the Kite Festival, and I'm going to give this away, but I don't want to just give it away like this, and I don't want to put it in a Ziploc bag, so I'm going to go ahead and make a bag for it. So I have this pink fabric, it's all I had is this, as far as ripstop goes. So there's plenty here to make several bags, so I'm going to make one for this, and it will also accommodate a handle set as well. So let's get started. Well, first things first, we have to thread this machine. I'm not going to give you a full rundown on this machine today. I will do that in a separate video. There are several stitches that this machine does that other machines do not. It's so old that maybe they've just gone out of style. But there's one on here that I've never seen on another machine. It's very hard to find. I'm going to use that today instead of a triple zigzag stitch, which is typically what is used on kites or kite repair. I use that a lot on my own jeans and things when I repair them because it looks cool, especially with the red thread. But today we're gonna find this one particular stitch and dial it in just right, and I'll show you how that's all done in another video, but we'll get to it and start getting this bag made. It's very helpful to have a seam ripper. My friend Rick made this. It's awesome. And a pair of scissors around. Hopefully you don't need to use the seam ripper. So here's all the parts that we're gonna use for the making of this bag. So we need to fit this stuff into a bag made of this. I'm going to use this little squeezy clasp. I don't really know the name of what this is called, but this is some kite line. This was from a rock battle that Lisa Willoughby and I fought in. It was my first rock battle. We got second place in Washington, D.C. at the Washington Monument. It was very memorable. It was cool. So I decided for this special bag, my first giveaway kite, I'm going to use a little piece of the end and make the drawstring for it. So that's that. I've already made that. I just got to tie a knot into it, and that will be good to go. But can't do that until we install it into the fabric here. I don't know what this was from. From something fun. I don't want to waste any fabric. I'm trying to find the most efficient way here to lay it out. Looks like this is about it. I think we'll just cut right there, cut here. Just get that chunk out of there. Seems about right. I'm just going to eyeball it on this case. Now for this particular bag, I'm not going to be super precise and like a kite or something. I'm not going to lay this out and measure it, make it dead on. Just going to be a little cinch sack. So I'm going to take and just roughly, fold it in half, and it looks pretty straight. So we'll just start at the bottom. We're just going to sew a seam this way, sew a seam this way. I just use a straight stitch for that. That's not going to be exposed. We're going to flip the bag inside out, and then at the same time, we're going to make a fold over little compartment for the drawstring, and then we'll have a bag. Okay, friends, I switched to white thread. I did it because it just was not going to look good with the red thread on this pink. It just wasn't going to look good. So switch to white, and that will be just fine. Backstitch, and just go for it. Just gonna go ahead and run a double stitch down that line, just another line of stitching right next to it, just for a little bit of durability. I got a pretty straight line. Nice. And that's that stitch. Now from here, I'm just going to take that straight line and I'm going to make some register marks the same distance away, and maybe 3 or 4 places I'll just make a little pencil mark there so I can stay on course and make a straight line down the other side. I think that looks like a good position. Let's go for it. Turn it inside out and just see how it looks. Nice. Oh, it's starting to look like a bag. Okay friends, I've turned the bag back inside out, as you see here, and what I'm going to do is fold this over. I'm going to lay the cinch string inside here, and we're going to sew a pattern all the way around the outside. Now, there's other ways to do this. If I were to lay this out and measure it first and make a perfect square, I'd do the top first and then do the sides, but in this case, I'm just kind of throwing it together. And this is something you can do. So you can experiment, you can figure out how this works best for you. There are patterns and steps that you can go to, but I'm not an expert sewer, friends. I have this machine, I make some kites, and when you're making something, pretty precise, it takes more time, of course, but I'm just making a bag here. So some of you might be freaking out there, like, you should be doing it a different way. Well, for some of us, we're lucky just to get this bobbin wound and this needle run and thread through it. So for those of us that are experimenting and trying it out, do whatever you want. You got a sewing machine, just go use it. Put some fabric in it and run some thread on it and experiment. That's what I do a lot, and it turns out pretty well. These bags are, always pretty handy, and this I've done it several times. So let's keep going. Okay, now friends, I'm just cutting off the excess fabric from the inside. Any of the loose strings, you can just burn them with a lighter or snip them. Well friends, we've cut off all the axes, so I got one more string here. I think we're pretty clean. I'll go over it with a lighter later, clean up any of the loose ends. Just turn it inside out. This is turning out quite nicely. If you had any doubts in the beginning or through the process, well, here's a crooked little bag to show you that there are more ways to get to the goal than just one. Now we're going to put our little squeezy doodad on there. Okay, we tied a knot. I'm going to clean up the end. We'll burn that later. This will still probably, it'll go all the way through this, but it'll be a good stopper anyway. So there is our cinch bag. Okay, friends, here is the moment that counts. We have the bag ready for whoever is going to receive this. I'm gonna fold this up nicely. Put this in there. The first time the kite will be in a proper bag. There we go. Voila. And there we have a kite bag. Way better than a Ziploc bag or whatever duffel bag it was shoved into over the years. This is great. I like the color too. Well, the thread is so light in here you can barely see the stitch, but it's like this cool, I call it like an Aztec stitch, offset, squared off. It looks better in other fabric, but this will do for the bag that it is. I'm happy with it. Well, friends, thanks for joining me today on this sewing project at the Kite House. I really appreciate you joining me for this. It's always fun to do some fabric art. It's been quite some time since I've pulled the old Bernina out and made a video about making anything. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. If you like what you're seeing, hit like, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification button, and you won't miss out on any of these sewing adventures or kiting adventures ever again. Friends, I'll see you in the next video, and happy flying.